You have a playoff series, LeBron. Stop focusing on the wrong things, man. Cole Sports presents on the daily. Welcome back to my channel. Cole Johnson's on the mic on the daily, presented by Cole Sports. Is on tap. And speaking of being on my channel, if you haven't yet, go ahead and like this video, comment below. I want to hear what you have to say, and don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell. It's all right there for you, and you get to have every new episode come your way. And if you want this shirt, description box below, right there for you. Now, let's get to the main event. We're not going to warm up. We're going to get to the main attraction. And I'm seeing something that I guess you could say is a bit disturbing. And that is the focus of the most focused on athlete of the NBA and LeBron James. It seems like his focus is so split everywhere that it seems to not be at the right spot in the right place. Is it just me? I don't know. I don't think so, though. And this latest I have to say something episode from LeBron, it's getting a little thin. So BRONSEXUAL, this is for you.
In a world where partial greatness is celebrated and total greatness is shunned, there stands to be a figure on the lips of those who love him and those who hate him. The inane comparisons to Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant continue and has existed since 2003. There is no end in sight, for the battle between those who unconditionally love and unconditionally hate him wages on. These are their stories. Welcome to the BRONSEXUAL Confessions.
Here's where we begin. So Jay Williams responded to a Richard Jefferson tweet. Yes, the bald guy who's yellow skin and all that, and who's now an ESPN analyst and used to play with LeBron. Yes, same guy. The tweet that he said that Giannis Antetokounmpo is basically a Pippen. Of course, Pippen clapped back at him, and I'll address that at another forum. But Jay decided to retweet that one and then pile on and say, quote, "So LeBron was a Pippen with D Wade once. Nothing wrong with that until you get over the hump." Close quote. Now, not to be outdone, LeBron had to respond on Twitter. And he responded in kind this way. Quote, "Explain to me what I gotta do with this subject matter. I'm over here minding my business preparing for Houston. And by the way, I ain't never been nobody but myself." Crowd emoji crap. Close quote. He didn't say crap, though. The mouth is bad, LeBron. Tame it. I digress. So I saw the response and I saw the comment, and I was just hit with one overwhelming feeling and response. Who cares? Who cares, right? Look, I know you feel me, man. I mean, I know you want to say to LeBron, who cares? Because, I mean, if I were in his shoes, if you were in his shoes, you probably said, well, who cares what Jay Williams thinks? Who cares what Richard Jefferson thinks? Who cares what I think? Who cares what even your BRONSEXUALs think? It doesn't matter. They all want to be where you are, LeBron. This is what I feel like telling them, man. And if you with this, you know, we like here, right? If we can be together, we could say that to LeBron. Let's say that to him. It doesn't matter. You're supposed to be the best player on the planet, and you are the most focused on player on the planet, and not just in basketball, in all those sports. Why should you care what an analyst says? Why should you even take the time to even comment on what an analyst even has to opine? It gets my goat, but it's funny though to me. But it still gets my goat because a guy of that stature shouldn't get dragged down in such a petty dispute on media, social or mainstream. But it must have affected him because later on that night, a 20 point, 8 rebounds, 7 assists performance. Oh, I'm sorry, 2 block shots too. Don't want to upset you, Bronsexual. Was not enough in their 112-97 loss to Houston in game 1 of their Western Conference semifinal matchup. Now, after that game, LeBron had some really interesting comments. He had some really interesting takes. He said that the Rockets had a lot of speed and that they were like, quote, the St. Louis Rams' greatest show on turf. Close quote. Well, sir, I think you need to focus on the modern greatest show on turf, as you alluded to, the Rockets being in that 15-point loss that you took opening your series against them, right? Yeah, you shouldn't be caught up in a petty battle or dispute with Jay Williams, a guy who he was trying to be a basketball player. Unfortunately, he had a motorcycle accident and he had to become an analyst. You see, you didn't have to worry about that. You really got injured. So to see that you are dealing with somebody who is giving an opinion to you makes you look petty. Well, I mean, it makes sense. Doesn't it make sense, man? LeBron's petty, just like the Bronsexuals are petty, because everything that is an affront to LeBron James is a personal attack on them. So even my saying this critique to them, they would take this as a personal affront. I know you get it too. I know you get it too. I know you get it too. I know you can have I had a conversation with a Bronsexual moments. I know it. I know it. I feel it in here. I know it. I mean, it makes me laugh when I hear him say things such as, quote, there's no way you can simulate that speed. Close quote. Okay. I've been watching basketball since 1980. You've probably been watching it for as long, maybe not as long, maybe a little longer. But he says, there's no way you can simulate that speed. Okay. Well, I remember seeing teams back in the day that would see squads like the Rockets, maybe not that small, but squads that would get up and down the floor running. And I remember what the opponents tried to do, but I remember the most successful opponents and what they did. You know what they did? They were more physical with them. Yes. They were more physical with the team that just got up and down the floor. That was flying to the ball offensively and defensively. They were physical with them. You blocked shots. You out-rebounded them. You bodied them up. You made them remember you by letting your size be an advantage over the disadvantage of them being smaller and shorter. I mean, the tallest player on the Rockets roster is none other than PJ Tucker, a shooting guard who has to play center at 6'5". A 6'5" center. What type of sense does that make? Are we dealing with a team that's in high school? No, we're dealing. No. We're dealing with a team that's in Pee Wee League. I mean, a 6'5" center, and they're an NBA squad. I digress. You would think LeBron, being a veteran that he is, would get the understanding that you have to be more physical with them. You got to show you're more man than that team. And I guarantee you, you lean on them a little too hard. You give them one of those stiff arms, stiff forearms. You give them a good shove to the ground. You give them a good remember me shot. And I'm not talking about a punch. I'm talking about you're letting them know that you can't just run everywhere, rampant, up and down the lane. I guarantee you that speed that you can't simulate, it'll slow down to a crawl. I mean, it's simple. Harden is all about getting to the charity stripe. And as efficient as he can look one game, the whole team can build a projects with the bricks they lay in another. I mean, game 7 in the previous round is proof. Harden and Westbrook didn't score 20. I mean, Harden was 4 for 15. He'll have those nights again, and he'll have those nights again in this series. But you have to do something that I don't think your team is ready for. You have to, and I don't think you're ready for it either, LeBron. You have to play defense. Now, I know Davis can do it. I mean, Anthony Davis came into the league playing defense. Help him out. Help him out. But okay. This might be broad in thinking, but I'll still say it. Maybe if you started to assert yourself as the biggest presence in the NBA and start trying to channel Martin Luther King Jr., then maybe you can get to that 4th title in 10 tries. But you are no longer the greatest player in the world. You haven't been that for at least 4 years. Because that crown was snatched by Kevin Durant. And others have lapped the field with you too. Focus on the fact that you're the Robin to Anthony Davis's Batman. Get a championship to the Lakers organization and stop being drawn in and dragged down and dragged into petty Twitter beefs. It does nothing for your legacy. It does nothing for your game. It does nothing for your mind. It does nothing for your brand, period. Stop, man. You should be better than that. But then again, you are the leader of the BRONSEXUALs, LeBron. And maybe the pettiness leaks down and leaks out on them too.
In a world where contradiction and hypocrisy exist, lies the truth to set us all free. Here is where we all get enlightened. This has been yet another installment of the BRONSEXUAL Confessions.
Now, if you want to get more BRONSEXUAL Confessions or other material, all you have to do is like this, good Lord, like this page and like this video, comment below, and don't forget that notification bell and hit the subscribe button. It's all for you, and I'm glad to provide it for you. Well, I'm Cole Johnson, and that's all the time I have. Thank you so much for joining me for yet another installment of Cole Sports on the visual and on the daily. Woo, I butchered that, ended up.